Hi there! Have you also arrived in the center of the corona crisis? Are you staying at home? No work to do? Or maybe home office work? Are you bored because you can't go to your favorite bar or restaurant or whatever? Well, I have a solution for you. Let's build something. But what could we build with all these things here? Well, we don't need everything of that, and we make something with normal household items. For example, if you have something like that. So that could be a cutting board made of plastic or any other plastic surface. A plexiglass, piece of plexiglass would work. We need an insulator because on the static mat here it wouldn't work. So what we're going to do today is we make an electrostatic generator that works with water, and it has absolutely no moving parts, and I'll show you how to build one and how to use it. So what we need is, as I said, an insulator, a plate, a piece of plastic, plexiglass, real glass, everything is okay, except wood. Wood is not okay because that's not insulating enough for high voltages. We do also need 2 large cans and 2 small cans, some pieces of PVC pipe, or in this case you could also take a wooden stick, a good insulator, short one like that, a neon bulb, but that's only an option, it's not necessary. Some stiff wire, doesn't need to be green and yellow, any color will do as long as it has a copper core, a can opener and 2 steel balls. Steel balls are also an option. Balls made of aluminium foil would also work, or even without them I think it would work as nicely. Well, I almost forgot another important part. It's a PET plastic bottle and some silicone tubes, which can be replaced by plastic straws. And I have here this little tube clamp here, which will be nice to have, but there are other options, for example like this one, tube clamp, self-made. Okay, let's begin. Okay then, let's see if it actually works. Well, it seems to work. I can hear a discharge here on the two balls, but I can't see it. It's too weak. So maybe I have to add the neon bulb to make it visible a little better. Let's try that. Okay, so how does this work? The only thing that moves is the water. Everything else is stationary, glued together, well soldered together and taped together. Okay, I will try to explain how that works. That's the whole construction, and the whole thing is called Kelvin generator, named after Lord Kelvin, the same guy that made the thermometer or similar experiments. Okay, there's the water bottle, the two cans with no bottom, two cans with bottom. What happens? These two cans are connected by a wire, and they are also connected by a wire which is not touching here. That's important. Let's say, or let's start in another way. If there is absolutely no charge here, no electric charge, it doesn't work. So we need a little bit of charge, electric charge, to start the whole thing. The good thing is, if we use plastic materials, wires, all that stuff, and we touch everything, everything gets charged more or less. We can't say which one gets, which side gets positive or negative. That's pure coincidence. But let's say this side here gets slightly positive. Of course, the other beaker here, or the other can, will also get positive because they are connected. For some reason, it became positive. Now, the water droplets here, they are neutral. at the beginning. Let's assume that. A neutral water droplet falls through a positive charged ring of metal, and the effect is called influence. It becomes negatively charged. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I think it has to do with the air that is around the water, so it probably wouldn't work in a vacuum. Or there are other physical effects that make these water droplets negative when they come close to a positive source of charge. Interesting question is it only working with water? Could we also take marbles, maybe plastic balls that drop from a tube or from something else? Or would it work with ball bearing steel balls? Maybe even better because they are conducting. I don't know, the effect would be the same. So these negative droplets here fall into that can here and make that can negative because they touch the metal of the can here, and for that reason this can becomes negative too. They are connected. There are the negative charges going through and the positive charges going through. So to remind that this is only an example. It could as well be the other way around. It doesn't matter. Now, if the neutral droplets here fall through that negatively charged tube, they become positive. This the same effect as on this side, but with opposite polarities. So these positive droplets fall into this can here, which is already positive, and they make it more positive. Lots of positive charges. And these more positive charges go up here and make the water more negative and creating more negative charges here, which makes this side more negative, which makes the water droplets more positive, and so on and so on. And then we'd simply connect our spark gap here, and when the voltage has risen high enough, we get an arc here. And in addition, I have here this neon bulb, that's the wrong symbol, in series to that discharge spark gap here. So every time when a spark jumps, a tiny little spark, you probably couldn't see it in the video, but all the current of the discharge of the entire apparatus here goes through that neon bulb and makes a visible light. So of course we could build a bigger generator. We could also add a capacitor here, a super low leakage, high voltage capacitor. Of course that takes long to charge that up because we're only generating a few electrons per second, but the discharge here would be much stronger because the entire capacitor here, which has a huge capacity compared with the rest of this circuit, even it's only a couple of nanofarads or something like that. But it has to be a very, very good capacitor, because the smallest leakage could entirely discharge the whole thing and no high voltage would build up. So that's the reason why we need a super insulator here. As I said, wood wouldn't be the right material because, well, maybe on a dry day like today. And in fact, air humidity, we have now about 25% humidity in the air. So that works wonderful. On a wet summer day, if there are thunderstorms around, air humidity goes into 50, 60, maybe 70% or more. That thing wouldn't work anymore because the humidity of the air makes the air conductive a little bit, and all these tiny charges here would simply flow away or cross to the other side where they shouldn't. So it's the ideal experiment for maybe now, because it's still cold, it's dry. Well, I don't know, here it's cold and dry, or maybe for you in another season. Well, why not? The Kelvin generator that makes electricity directly from moving water. Thanks for watching.